A beginner's guide to AI for business owners. The iceberg of AI broken down into three layers so you know exactly where to start, what to build next, and where the real leverage lives. Every business owner I talk to right now is asking me some version of the same question. They want to know how to use AI in their business. They keep hearing about it everywhere and they have a quiet feeling that if they keep ignoring it, they are going to fall behind the people in their industry who have already started. The problem is that the advice out there is either way too basic, meaning it tells you to ask ChatGPT to write an email for you and calls that an AI strategy, or it is way too technical, meaning it throws you into API keys and Python scripts on day one and scares you off completely. I want to give you something different in this talk. I want to show you the full picture of what is actually possible with AI in your business, laid out in a way that feels like an iceberg so you can see exactly where you are today, where you can get to with a few hours of work, and where the real transformation starts to happen for people who go deeper. By the end of this, you will know exactly which layer to focus on first and how to move through each one at your own pace. So, the iceberg of AI. Here is the way I have come to think about AI for business owners, and it has saved me a lot of confusion when clients ask me where they should start. Imagine an iceberg floating in the water. The tip of it is what everyone can see. The middle of it is hidden just below the surface, and the deepest part is all the way down in the water where almost nobody looks. AI works the same way. There are three layers, and each one gives you a different level of leverage depending on how far you are willing to go. Most business owners are stuck at the tip of the iceberg and they do not even know there is anything underneath. That is what I want to fix in this video. So, layer one, the tools you should already be using. The top layer is where everyone starts. And if you're brand new to AI, this is the only layer I want you to focus on for your next few weeks. The goal here is simple. You want to replace the small boring task in your day with a 2-minute AI prompt instead. These are all the four tools I recommend every business owners learn how to use first, and each one has a specific job it is best at. So let's start with tool 1, Claude or GPT. These two tools do roughly the same thing, which is to give you a chat window where you can ask questions, draft documents, rewrite emails, brainstorm ideas, and solve problems in plain English. I personally use Claude for most of my writing and thinking work because I find the tone is more natural, but ChatGPT is equally capable, and either one will change your life the first time you really learn to use it properly. The thing most people get wrong here is they type one line into the chat, get an average answer back, then decide AI is overrated. The actual skill is learning how to write better prompts, because the quality of what you get out is directly tied to the quality what you put in. Give it a context, give it a role, tell it what you are trying to achieve, and show it an example of what good looks like. That is called prompt engineering in one sentence, and it is the single highest leverage skill you can learn this year. So start here. Draft a client proposal, rewrite a long email in a calmer tone, summarize a meeting transcript, brainstorm content ideas for the week. Use it every day for a week and you will understand exactly what it is good at. Tool 2, Notebook LM. This one is underused and it might be the single most useful tool on this list for a consultant or service business owner. Notebook LM is a Google product that lets you upload documents, transcripts, PDFs, and notes, and then chat with all of them at once like they were one giant brain. Think about what that means for a minute. You can drop in every proposal you have ever sent, every client call transcript, every piece of research you have gathered, and then ask Notebook LM to pull insights, find patterns, or answer specific question using that material. It also has a feature that turns your notes into a short audio podcast you can listen to on a walk, which is a strange thing to describe until you have actually used it, and then you realize how powerful it is for digesting information. There is also a presentation feature inside Notebook LM that generates slide decks from your notes, which is a great shortcut if you need to prepare for a client meeting or a workshop quickly. Try it once and you will see what I mean by that. Tool 3, Perplexity. Perplexity is basically a smarter version of Google built on top of AI. When you ask it a question, it searches the web in real time, reads the sources itself, and gives you back a short, clear answer with links to where the information came from. For business owner, this is incredible for market research, competitor analysis, industry trends, and any kind of quick fact finding. What used to take 20 minutes of scrolling through blog posts and SEO fluff now takes about 90 seconds. Use this whenever you need to understand something new. Whether that is a tool, a new market, or a new industry you are considering entering. What to actually do this week? Pick one task you do every single week that takes you more than 30 minutes and that feels boring. Could be writing a weekly client update, drafting a sales email, researching a prospect, or putting together meeting notes. Open Claude or GPT, give it the context, give it an example of what the output should look like, and ask it to do the task for you. The first time you try it, the output might be average. The second time, you will start to understand what makes it better. By the 10th time, the task will take you 5 minutes instead of 30 or 60 minutes, and you will have bought yourself an hour back every single week. Multiply that across every repeatable task in your business, and you start to see what layer one of this iceberg can actually do for you. Let's get to layer two: automation and workflow. Once layer one starts feeling natural and you are using these tools a few times a day, you will start thinking, okay, this is great, but I'm still the one clicking the buttons and copying and pasting the results. What if the AI could just do this on its own in the background while I get on with real work? That is exactly where layer 2 lives. And this is where things start getting really interesting, because this is the layer where AI stops being a tool you use and starts being a worker you manage. The two platforms you need to know about. There are two main platforms that let you build simple automation without needing to write a single line of code. The first one is called N8N. The second one is called Make.com. Both of them do roughly the same thing, which is they let you connect different apps together visually. So one action in one app triggers another action in different app. Imagine a bunch of Lego blocks. Each Lego block is an app, something like Gmail or your CRM or your calendar or GPT or your spreadsheet. These tools let you snap those Lego blocks together in any order you want, and then the whole chain runs automatically whenever a trigger happens. You build it once and it works forever. Let me give you a few examples of kind of things a service business owner can build with these tools just to make this real for you. You could build an automation that listens for new form submission on your website, uses AI to qualify the lead based on what they wrote, sends the qualified ones straight into your CRM, and automatically emails the unqualified ones a helpful resource instead. All of that happens in about 3 seconds. Every single time, forever, without you touching it. You could build one that watches your inbox for a specific type of client email, uses AI to draft a response in your own tone of voice, saves the draft in your outbooks for you to review in the morning, and leaves a summary in your daily briefing. You still stay in the control of what goes out, but the writing work is done before you wake up. You could build one that takes every meeting transcript from your recording software, uses AI to pull out the action items, adds them into your task manager, sends a follow-up email to the client with a clean summary. That entire process used to take you 40 minutes after each call. Now it takes a few seconds, and it doesn't even miss anything. These are real workflows that business owners are already running today. Your competitors are already running today, and they are built with drag and drop interfaces that anyone can learn in a weekend if they are motivated enough. So, where to start with layer 2? The best way to start with layer 2 is to pick one single workflow from layer 1 that you are doing manually and automate just that one. Trying to build 5 automation at once will overwhelm you and you will give up. Building one and seeing it work, then building the next one is how people actually make progress here. Go to make.com or N8N. I would recommend N8N if you are little aware of AI. I would recommend make.com if you are super beginner. Sign up for a free account. Both of them provides that. Watch a 10-minute intro video and then pick the simplest thing you do every day and try to connect two apps together. The first one you build will take you 2 hours. The second one will take you 30 minutes. By the 10th one, you will be thinking about your business in a completely different way. Now we get to the part of the iceberg that most business owners never see, or they are never aware of at this point. And this is where the real transformation happens for the businesses that go all the way down. Layer 3 is what I call custom AI systems. These are fully built custom workflows that run entire parts of a business on autopilot. These are the reason a business owner can go from working 12 hours a day down to 4 hours while actually growing revenue. And they are the reason some founders suddenly seem to have 10 extra hours in their week that nobody else has. I want to be very upfront with you. I'm going to show you what these look like, but I'm going to stop short of teaching you how to build them yourself, and there is a reason for that. Custom systems are deeply specific to each business, each workflow, each set of tool, and each team structure. What works beautifully for one business will fail completely for another. These are the engineered systems that need to be designed from the ground up around how your specific business actually runs. So, what these systems actually look like. Imagine you're a consultant. A new lead fills out a form on your site. Within 30 seconds, an AI system has researched their company, pulled their LinkedIn, cross referenced them with your ideal client criteria, scored them as a fit, and either booked them straight into your calendar with a pre prepared briefing document or sent them into a nurture sequence that warms them up over the next 3 weeks. While all of that is running, another part of the same system is watching your email inbox, drafting responses to client question in your voice, flagging the ones that need your attention, and handling the rest without you ever seeing them. Another part is pulling your meeting transcripts, writing up your notes, updating your project management tool, and sending the client a polished recap within 5 minutes of the call ending. And another part, watching your content channels, pulling out the posts that are performing the best, writing you three ones based on what is working, and queuing them up for you to approve in the morning. Inbox manager, meeting summarizer, you have not done any of this manually. You have done the high leverage human work, which is thinking, strategizing, talking to clients, and making decision, and the system has handled everything else in the background. That's what the power of custom AI solution looks like. That's the power of layer 3. So why am I showing you all this? I'm showing you this layer because most business owners have no idea it even exists. They stop at layer 1, use GPT a few times a week, and then they think they are doing AI. Meanwhile, the people who have gone all the way down to layer 3 are running entire operations with half the team and twice the revenue. Knowing that layer 3 exists changes how you think about your business. Even if you never build a single custom system yourself, because once you know it is possible, you stop accepting the idea that you have to do everything manually, and you start looking at every task in your week and asking the right question, which is whether this task actually needs a human or whether a system could do it for you. Where you should start. So here is an honest answer to where you should start, depending on where you are today. If you have never really used AI before, start with layer 1. Pick Claude or GPT, pick one task, and spend the next week getting good at prompting. Add Notebook LM and Perplexity as soon as the layer 1 feels comfortable. This alone will save you 5 to 10 hours a week if you use it properly. If you're already using AI tools daily and you are starting to feel the limits of copy and paste, you are ready for layer 2. Sign up for make.com. Pick one workflow and build it. You do not need to learn how to code. You just need to be willing to spend a weekend tinkering. If you are running a business with high volume and you have reached the point where automation alone is not enough, and you can feel that manual work is the thing holding you back from scaling, then you are ready to think about layer 3. This is where we come in. At Empowered AI, this is exactly what we do for business owners. We design and build those custom AI systems that handle the repetitive work in your business so you can focus on the part only a human can do. If you have watched the video all the way through and the layer 3 section made you think about your own business in a new way, that feeling is worth paying attention to. If you want to have a conversation about what a custom AI system could look like for your specific business, the link to book an audit call with us is in the description. The call is free, there is no pressure, and by the end of it, you will have a clear picture of what layer you should be focused on and what the next step looks like for you. Either way, Start today. Even if all you do tomorrow is open Claude and try to automate one boring task, that is a real next step forward. And the compound effect of these small steps over the next few months will surprise you. AI is already changing the way the best businesses run. The gap between the people who have started and the people who have not is widening every single week. The good news is the entry point has never been lower. You can start at the top of the iceberg today for free with the tools that a 12-year-old could figure out. The only thing that matters is that you start somewhere and then keep going deeper one layer at a time at whatever pace feels right for you. The business owners who learns this stuff now are the ones who will be running their industry 2 years from now.